What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Home of Chrome, and today we're going to try and make this look a little less derelict than what it looks like right now. You can see here the paint's faded, there's rust everywhere, the top is pretty much shot on it as far as appearance goes. There's some rust over here, so we're going to try and get all that over here taken care of. Try and get this crown piece here off so we can get it polished. We got a lot of work ahead of us today, so let's see what we can do with it. We're going to wash it, we're going to throw some wax, has rubbing compound, see if we can't get it to come back around, at least just in appearance. All right, we'll get in here on these tires with some degreaser. Let's see, get some of this here cleaned up, knock some of the trash off of it. Just gonna spray this on here, let it sit for a little bit. Get a little bit up here in the wheel wells. All right. Cruise on back to the back. I know, it's a great singing voice, I know. It is not a bad day out here today, actually. It's like, I don't know, 90 degrees maybe. Ugh. So yeah, don't breathe in the degreaser. That sucks. This tire is low. Cool. So yeah, if anybody knows of valve stem extenders that I could use on here, let me know, because this is a pain in the butt because these valve stems are too short. So you have to take the wheel covers off in order to put air in the tires, and well, I'm not interested in doing that. I mean, I'm gonna have to until I get longer valve stems, but anywho, in the grand scheme of things, not that big a deal. And you see this chrome and the stainless here. You see how I'm gonna show you guys how to get that cleaned up today too, because there needs a lot of it. All right, got my cat over here drinking her some water. All right, let's go ahead and hit these wheels. Oh. Woo, look at all that. All that trash coming off of there. Hey, see how that shines there with that water on it? That's kind of what I'm hoping get it to come back and look like. Now again, I know it's not going to be perfect, but really just shooting for better. What we're shooting for. So normally I would like for a car to run before I went through this much trouble to make it look better, but yeah, I gotta get some air in that tire. Ass. Pretty bad. Woo, look at all that. Just blast that rust out of there. Here we go. There we go. Woo. And of course, I left my tripod at Andy's house in eastern Kansas last weekend, so I'm kind of trying to figure this out as I go as to how I'm going to get this done, because it's kind of hard to do it with one hand. All right, so what we're going to use today, I've got my Chicago Electric machine from Harbor Freight. I got a couple of these pads. These are some older pads that I've got lying around that I don't really use anymore. Leather cleaner for the inside. I'm sure I have another bottle of that somewhere, but the Chemical Guys Tire Kicker, Tire Shine, that's great stuff. When you put it on correctly, it doesn't sling and get all over your car. We're gonna try this ceramic wax from Meguiar's. Also got this Ultimate Liquid Wax from Meguiar's. And Show Car Glaze, also from Meguiar's. And odor neutralizing leather cleaner from Griot's Garage. So it's kind of give you guys an idea of what we're gonna be using today. Actually, what I did not list was my rubbing compound. So I've got to find that and we'll go from there. But yeah, we're gonna clean the glass, clean the interior up a little bit, try to make that top look at least a little bit better. There's probably gonna be some sanding involved. And then if I can find some primer, we're gonna put some primer on these little rust spots here. Where's my finger? Right here. There we go. God, I gotta get used to this. Right along here. And there's some on the other side too. So it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna see what we can do to make it better. Like I said before, don't take what I do as advice. This is not necessarily the correct way to take care of this brush, but it is an old brush and it's trashy paint, so it's not like I'm using it on, you know, one of my nicer Cadillacs. The car is washed as best as it's going to be. You know, like I said, the paint on it is pretty much garbage. But anyway, we're gonna try to make that better, like I said. So what I want to do is I'm going to come in here with some tape. I'm going to tape along the edge of this rust here, kind of give me a little bit better of a, well, not that I should need a better representation of where my work area is, but that's just to be able to get as close as possible without actually getting into it. So hopefully we're gonna make this here look better. All right, so it has come to my attention that I do not have any rubbing compound, so we're going to use Meguiar's ceramic liquid wax to see what this will do. I'm not expecting a whole lot of great things, not necessarily from the wax itself, but because of the process in which we're doing it. Really, you should hit it with a rubbing compound and try to get all the dead paint off before you put this stuff on. But we're just gonna try it and we're gonna see what happens. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, you know, no harm, no foul. Put all of it on there. I'm gonna crank this up to 5. It goes up to 6, but we're gonna put it on 5. So anyway, I don't know if you guys can see it, but right here is where I hit this here, this area. It is certainly better than it was. Like I said, I wasn't going to expect huge results out of it. I'm just trying to get this car cleaned up to where at least it looks a little bit better than it does. And that's really all I'm shooting for. We're just shooting for better here on this channel. We're not always perfect. We're just shooting for better. So that's what we're gonna work for. And we're gonna keep on going, see if we can't get it knocked out. And then I'm gonna show you guys how to polish stainless and some chrome. Really bring that back. Basically, the waxing of this paint is going to be just a huge fail. Not a big deal though, because like I said, we're going to repaint, but we can certainly turn this chrome around and this stainless around. So let's work on doing that. So what we've got is some soapy water, and some 4/0 steel wool. That's 4 zeros. You can get this at Walmart, back in the paint section. And it's just a couple bucks. But you see what condition this is in? I mean, look at, okay, so you see we got that rust right there? There we go. And really clean this up. You really got to get 4/0. You don't want to go any less than that. You don't want 3 to definitely not 0 or 1/0, because that's just going to mar up your bright work. Okay, don't do this on plastic though, okay, because that will ruin it. All right, look how much better that turned out. My word, so much better. If anything, this will help the car's appearance. I mean, obviously I still got rust and all that other crap on it, but you know, you can only do so much with what you have sometimes. What we don't have right now is a lot. So we're just trying to make something happen here. And yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, I don't guess, to some folks about why I'm putting this much work into a hearse. See, the thing is, I've always loved hearses. Not necessarily for what they represent, and not necessarily because I was in the business for a long time. I love them because of how they're built. They're all handmade, every one of them. Now, you probably have seen some of the videos on the Car Wizards channel where I talk about how they're built and things like that, but we're going to talk about it here. So like I've said before in the past, that this is a commercial chassis car, which means it goes from Cadillac as a Series 75 chassis to one of the coach builders, and in this case it was Superior Coach Company, as a rolling chassis. And so that is, it has just the front end of the car. It's complete chassis, motor, transmission, all that good stuff. But then it's got the front clip, so you got your hood, your fenders, all your chrome, all that good stuff already attached to it. And then it goes into their workshop where they do all the build work to build this into a car, as to what you see here. We could get into how it's done, but that'll take forever. And it's just long and arduous to explain. So that's how it happens. So they're all hand built, and you know, quite honestly, they're not all going to be the same. Because of that, because of it being hand built. Now, sure, your doors and your glass and all such as that will be the same because they work on jigs. But each funeral home is different when they would order them. Like this funeral home, it originally started at Carmichael Watley in Pampa, Texas. And it was white. It was a white car with a black top and blue interior. In fact, I've actually got pictures of it when it was at Carmichael Watley, which I'm gonna have to find those. They're in the car somewhere. I'll find those and I'll get those put up here on the video as well. And then at some point in its life, one of the previous owners decided that they were going to paint it blue, as it is now, with a white top. And quite honestly, I'm glad that that happened, because that blue with a white top just really sets it off for me. I love that color combination. And honestly, having black hearses, white hearses, silver hearses, that all gets boring. Sorry, Rosie. Which, you know, I do have a black hearse. But yeah, so why do I like hearses? Again, it's just because they're all hand built, and no two are going to be the same. Plus, I just think they look cool, and there's a lot of history behind, you know, a lot of them. I know I got a lot of junk over there. There's stuff I gotta get straightened up. But we'll do that later. I'm not worried about it right now. So the history on this car, we'll talk about it. It went from Carmichael Watley in Pampa, Texas. They ordered it new in 1969. And then it went to a funeral home in Lubbock, Texas. Not sure which one, but it's still in business. I do know that. I'll have to look it back up to see where it went to. So yeah, I mean, look at that. That's already a huge improvement over where it was. Kind of give you an idea of where it was. That's what it was looking like. That's what it looks like now. Huge improvement. I really got to hit it with some metal polish, but other than that, it looks great. So we're just gonna keep on keeping on. Okay, yeah, so we're all over the place with this thing today. Started out washing it, gonna try to wax it. Well, the wax kind of failed. I had a feeling it would, so not a big deal. But now we are back here in the back. There's that chrome band that goes across the top. I need to get that off so I can get the rest of the roof material out from under it. And there's some rust under there that needs to be fixed. So these panels here, these blue panels on both sides, need to come down so I can start pulling the crown trim and get that band off the top. So I've already got one piece of the trim pulled. Is that chrome piece that goes across here. That's already off. That didn't turn out like I hoped it would. I was kind of hoping that they would have had something, like it was a split or something, but it's not, obviously. So I got to figure out how to get to the mounting hardware underneath without taking this headliner down. All right, so we've got these screws here pulled, and we're going to go back here to the back. We're going to pull these screws out here on this side. You got to be real careful pulling this stuff out because, well, it's old and you're not going to find it again. It's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. Get this last screw out. I'll bring you guys over here to check it out. Okay. that's just gonna sit right there. See all that? So this is all of that rust that you can see on the outside. Got some forming back here that I've got to tend to. All in all, it doesn't look near as bad as I thought it did. Maybe it just looks nasty on the outside, yeah. But like I said, there's a lot more in here than I really want to deal with. As far as cutting out this metal. See, because what happens is this here, you've got to form all that. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to cut this entire piece. Okay, cut that entire piece out and then form it and then go through. I mean, like, it's not hard to, you know, pick up the holes and things if you have your hole finders and stuff like that. So that's really not that hard. It's for me personally, it's going after this with either a plasma cutter or a death wheel to cut all this out, just throwing sparks all through the interior here. I'm not taking the interior out of this car because this here is all glued on, and once this comes off, if it comes off in one piece, it'll never be the same. So we're not going to mess with that. Kind of gives you an idea of what route I'm going to take. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to treat all of that metal as best as I can, and then we are going to figure something out. Whether I put something here behind it and fill in, or whatever it is we do. I don't know. Anywho, so there is the intake motor for this intake here. It's air intake. Like I said, that there controls the butterfly for the scoop on the outside. I'm sorry, that's not an intake. That is for the fresh air. This is your fresh air comes out here. Yeah. So that's the back side of the little butterfly controller. Here's where she took a bullet. That's actually pretty cool. We've got this piece of the crown trim off of the driver's side, the sail panel. Now we've got to come up here and try to get this piece off, but there's just what I was afraid of, is that there's bolts. You can't really see them, but there's bolts inside of here that mount that to the roof. So I've got a decision to make. Do I take it off or do I work around it? Actually, I think I'm probably going to work around it because, like I said, this is a low budget type thing here that we're doing at the Home of Chrome. And quite honestly, I really don't want to take this headliner out because, well, it's still in good condition and it's still tight. So we're going to leave it alone. In fact, I've done just a little bit here to pull these staples loose. I'm going to get my staple gun. We're going to put that all back in here in a little bit and go from there. So you know how there's that old saying of you might as well just leave well enough alone? Well, this is that saying in a video right here. Luckily on this car, this is actually looks to be the worst of it. I have to get this piece off here. A little screw here is stuck, so I'm going to get some penetrating oil on it and then try to get this black panel down, get it out of the way. We're just going to pretend like we didn't see that. Normally I'd want to get that fixed, but the level of complexity that goes into that right there, I'm not willing to get into it. If I wind up ever selling this car, honestly, I hate to say it, but the next owner can. I'm not going to. As far as the rest of it goes, the rest of the frame is sturdy. I'm going to clean that up, treat it, and I might, once I get it cleaned up, I might go in and rivet in some sheet metal just to kind of give it a little extra strength in there if there's anything left to rivet to. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull these bolts, pull that trim off, and I think we're going to call it good. Well, I think that's going to end it for today's video. We got the inside of the car torn apart, found more rust issues than I thought we had, but we did get the car washed and that turned out okay. We didn't get it cleaned up like I wanted it to. I was kind of hoping to get some shine to it, but I didn't figure we would, since I couldn't find my rubbing compound to get this dead paint off before we put wax on it. So we put wax on it and it just soaked it in. And that is what it is. Kind of didn't figure that was going to work out too well. But we did get some stainless polished, and it actually turned out really well. So I think that's what we're going to continue doing. I'm just going to keep pulling stainless. I'm going to keep polishing that. And then eventually I'm going to pull these door panels so I can push some dents out in the door. And we're going to call this thing about ready for, well, not ready for paint, but ready to move on, do some other things to it, because, you know, we still got to get it running right. Anyway, on that disappointing end, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below what you think we should do. Love y'all. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.